Hi, you guys. It's Leanne and Stephanie at the Healing Studio.
Hi.
We are doing our weather forecast for energy. So, just a little bit of, um, you know, heads up about like last month. April was kind of a difficult astrological month. Um, there was a lot of reasons for that might have made it feel kind of crunchy or slow, or like lots of big things were up last month. I kind of kept hearing from the guides that there was like this space where we were, like trying to go on an airplane with our furniture from our house kind of thing. And it's like, no, 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 got to pack lightly for the next phase and, get yourself clear of those old, heavy, habits kind of thing. And then the other thing that I was seeing was that whole miracle space where it was like, what is, um, what was is no longer, and what is coming is not yet here. And so that's where like a lot of space for possibility is. So those are kind of a couple things that I was seeing. I know you kind of have a similar assessment, Stephanie. Tell us what you've been noticing.
Well, one of the things I've been noticing is that people who didn't know that, who couldn't see or feel that directly, there was a lot of anticipatory energy. Like, I need to start something and it's not
Mm,
working. I want to start this other thing and it's not working. Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. So, just like you said, bringing in a lot of that energy of like calm, just
mhm.
patient. Everything is coming. Everything is coming. Like, more is coming in. This morning I got a big message when I was asking about it that we are in an integration phase now. So they showed me soup. Like, it feels like everything is bubbling up. It feels like everything, maybe even a little bit is bubbling over. But all the ingredients have been added. So if you keep adding garlic, you're not going to get the soup you want. But if you eat it right now, it's not going to have as much flavor as if you just let all the flavors simmer. So right now is a time to just, it feels unsettled, but just let everything and let all the flavors integrate into each other.
Well, and I think that that's right. The integration of what, it's again back to that like moving houses thing. Like, don't put everything in the soup either. Just because it's in the fridge doesn't mean it belongs in the soup. Right. So it's just is a really big, I think, transition period. I think things are going to get a little bit easier as the year goes on. And I do think like those new projects or those things that we're meant to be doing get momentum. I just don't think that they're going to have momentum yet. And I think if we push too hard, too fast, we're going to end up just falling on our faces because there isn't time yet for that to happen. The other thing I'm noticing, which I told you, is electrical body problems.
Mm-hmm.
So we are very much about electricity. Think of, if your heart stopped, what are they going to do? They're going to shock you, right? So we are electrical. And I'm noticing that because of these integrations or lack thereof, or really intense initiations of new energies running through people's fields, they are experiencing electrical problems. So like their bodies are twitching, or they're, having spasms, or not moving in the way that they, intend to be moving. One of the things to do with that, and hello, Melissa, is to put ourselves in, kind of that organized energy as best that we can. So meditating, obviously drinking lots of water and making sure your electrolytes are balanced. But when that electrical body is kind of spazzing out, you can kind of think of it like when you touch something and that extra electron jumps and shocks you. It's kind of like that. You need to be discharging a lot. So any way that you can do that, or that you do that, if you need help, obviously you know where to come. Um, but giving ourselves a opportunity to just kind of sit with organizing the electrical system. Uh, that also it means that we're uh, meant to be moving. The electrical system does best when we're doing whatever movements we can. Crossover movements are good, where you're just doing something that's crossing the midline, even, those kinds of things. Um,
Yeah, and earth, like get on the earth and ground it out. You know, the earth is a great electrical grounding conductor. It'll pull all that energy and help reorganize it.
Right. And you don't necessarily have all the optimal essences of calmness, and if you, especially in this hemisphere with spring, because we've got the newness of the plants coming out, the wind that's coming through, the water that is falling from the sky kind of sporadically in different temperatures, like there's just a lot of ups and downs in this time. So being able to give yourself the opportunity to respond to that by being calmer, stiller, slower paced, is always, all those good things, are helpful.
And you can think about the tree, because if you look out with all this wind they're having, the branches are blowing, they're going crazy, they're going all over the place. Some of the branches are even releasing and going back down into the earth, but the trunk of the tree and the roots of the tree are still solid, they're still calm. So the
Right.
trees aren't going anywhere, they're just kind of allowing themselves to move in with the wind and with the chaos. So just allowing yourself to kind of understand that you're being blown around, but be centered at the same time.
Well, and that's a good point with the roots, because when the foundation is solid and the roots are solid, the tree won't blow over. But if the roots are shallow, then the tree will blow over, right? So
Right.
it is a good time to be working on that rooting and really reaching your energy down into the earth the best that you can. Um, I'm also, there's a lot of like energy of either feeling like you have to do it all alone, or you are all alone. Lots of loneliness, lots of singular energies. And I think that that's intentional right now too. I think that there's some inner work we're being requested to do. And sometimes when we get distracted by our friends and loved ones, maybe we don't do the work, so I've been noticing it's uncomfortable, that people don't love it, they want it to change, but it's also like, when it is there, taking the time to be with it. I mean, I know those of you who have little kids know that you crave that time by yourself, right? So you just want a moment alone. But that time is short in your lives, and there comes periods of time where you don't have all that busyness and it almost feels like a void. But during those times, like last month, calming down, sitting with that, working with what's there when it is quiet,
Mm-hmm. Well, and that brings up something else that came up this week too. You were talking about the stop and go, like stop and
Oh
go
yeah.
energy,
Yeah.
before we got on here. And one of the messages I got is that we're in a fluid state with our ego, like almost a binary state. Like,
Mhm.
look at me, look what I'm doing. Oh, wait, I'm not good enough to do this. Look at me, this is me with this big project. This is me moving it forward. And just when you're alone, realizing that you're not surrounded by people, but you're also not alone. So, like, our ego is a good thing. It's not about destroying the ego, but it's about seeing, like, we are surrounded by our guides and our helpers and the universe, and taking some time to honor that support and work on that feeling of like, yes, I've got this, and yes, I'm enough for this, and I deserve this. And also, it's not me, it's something that the universe is wanting to come in and create and heal and move forward through all of us. And when we feel like we're doing it all alone, we're not working with the universe and the guides and the helpers.
True story. Yeah. And sometimes it's a common myth that people think that their guides and their helpers know that they need help, and that's not always the case. So it's okay to go ahead and ask through intention, through journaling, through just, prayer, whatever works for you, to go ahead and say, "Hey, a little help down here," that's totally, a good thing to do with your unseen helpers. And, that's also kind of speaks to the free will part, because the free will, they can't interfere with our free will. So if we're making choices that they don't approve of or don't think are good for us, they just have to let us do it. And so if we say we would like help,
Right.
that's kind of giving them permission.
Yeah. Like, they keep telling me, you can choose to be in the struggle. Like, that's a valid choice to struggle.
Yeah. Yeah,
Choose to do it
exactly.
differently.
Exactly. So, I think like as we enter into May, this is going to change, but this is, we're giving you kind of what's we've noticed through April. So maybe it resonates with you guys. If you have questions about the energies or just to have comments yourself, and you're watching this later or even presently, feel free to make some comments or ask some questions, and we'll get to those as we can. I guess the last thing just is that is a very, very big change coming. And I think that we can't resist the change. That gives us rope burn.
Yeah.
We've got to give ourselves opportunity to try and surrender to it. And surrender is such an intense word because it's not like you can tell somebody how to surrender, right? It's like
Right.
you're like,
And one of the things I saw this morning is it's not a big storm coming because we have so much fear around big change. So
mm,
just, kind of softening that fear of, is this change going to be a huge storm, or is it going to be, and sometimes if it is a big storm, once the rain starts, it's very cleansing and it's very nourishing, and it brings so much, not just moisture, but nourishment. It helps things grow. So just being aware of not being afraid of the big change.
mhm, mhm. Yeah. So anything else you have to add before we wrap up?
Nope.
All right. So you guys, the Healing Studio is here for you during all of this. Stephanie and I actually started to do sessions together. We do healings where both of us are working at the same time. It's pretty intense, but it's a really powerful way to move through some big stuff. And Stephanie's doing her Reiki share. She's teaching Reiki classes. For my stuff, the next energy classes doesn't start till January, but we have the new moon rituals and we've got the sound baths and we've got group healing. So there's all kinds of stuff here to support you in all of this time period. And there's always stuff kind of coming up to be done, like, kind of people come to us and say, hey, I'd like to offer this or whatever. Like we have a clarity breath work thing that's happening on Saturdays, some Saturdays. So just, come and check us out and see what we've got. We're here for you. And if you haven't been here yet and you're local to where we are, stop in. The office manager's here Mondays and Tuesdays.
Oh, and the crystal shop is
And
open.
that's right. The crystal shop, actually, let me say, the crystal shop is open Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays normally. And this week, because it's Mother's Day, she's closed on Sunday, but she is open on Saturday and is offering a sale. So you might come check that out. If you haven't seen that yet, you should come see that.
Absolutely.
All right, you guys, go be amazing. See you later.
Bye.